500 years, the name Machiavelli has meant manipulation, cruelty, and deception. Politicians accused of lying are called Machiavellian, as if the word itself proves corruption. But Niccolò Machiavelli did not invent political cruelty. He simply described how power already worked. And once he wrote it down, it became impossible to pretend otherwise. Machiavelli was not misunderstood because he was cynical. He was misunderstood because he described power as it actually behaves, not as people wish it would. In early 16th century Italy, politics was not abstract theory. It was survival under constant threat. City-states rose and collapsed within a generation. Alliances shifted overnight. Armies were rented, betrayed, or bribed away. Florence, Machiavelli's home, survived only by navigating forces far larger than itself. Moral consistency was not a virtue in that environment. It was a liability. This is the world that produced Niccolò Machiavelli, and it explains why his writing sounds unsettling even today. He did not invent cruelty or deception. He observed that states already relied on them, then asked a question most political thinkers avoided: what actually keeps power intact when ideals fail? The answer he arrived at was not evil. It was constraint. In The Prince, Machiavelli separates personal morality from political necessity. A ruler, he argues, cannot govern as a private individual does. Private morality prioritizes intention. Political survival prioritizes outcome. When those conflict, the state punishes hesitation. This is the core of what later becomes known as realpolitik, politics driven by practical power considerations rather than ideology. Machiavelli never used the word, but he described the logic precisely. States exist in an environment where others can lie, betray, invade, or exploit weakness. Refusing to acknowledge that environment does not make it disappear. It only makes one predictable. Machiavelli's most controversial claim is not that rulers should be cruel. It is that they should be prepared to be cruel if circumstances demand it, and to stop immediately once the objective is achieved. Violence, in his framework, is not expressive. It is instrumental. Prolonged cruelty breeds instability. Decisive cruelty applied once can prevent continuous disorder. Consider his famous argument about fear and love. Machiavelli does not say rulers should seek fear. He says love is fragile because it depends on goodwill, while fear depends on consequence. When resources shrink, loyalties fracture. Institutions based purely on affection fail first. Fear, when regulated, persists under stress. This is not a celebration of domination. It is an observation about asymmetry. A ruler cannot rely on citizens to behave ideally under pressure because incentives change faster than values. Power that assumes virtue collapses when virtue becomes costly. Machiavelli's realism was shaped by watching Florence trust mercenary armies. Mercenaries fought only when winning was convenient. When conditions shifted, they defected. Florence paid for loyalty it never controlled. Machiavelli concluded that outsourced force produces outsourced allegiance. A state that cannot compel its own defense cannot survive long enough to be moral. The deeper paradox is that Machiavelli believed his analysis could reduce suffering. Endless instability produces more violence than limited, controlled coercion. A weak ruler invites constant conflict. A stable one, even if feared, allows ordinary life to continue. The moral cost is concentrated. The alternative spreads it indefinitely. This is why Machiavelli remains uncomfortable. He removes the comforting illusion that good intentions protect institutions. They do not. Structures do. Modern politics still follows this pattern. States justify secrecy, surveillance, and coercion not because leaders enjoy them, but because vulnerability compounds. Once exposed, restraint is punished. Escalation becomes safer than concession. Systems reward those who adapt to power dynamics, not those who deny them. The lasting discomfort comes from recognizing that political systems do not collapse when leaders are immoral. They collapse when leaders refuse to act as the system requires. Machiavelli did not invent that logic. He wrote it down and made it difficult to ignore.